Let's be honest for a second. We're all feeling it, right? That constant hum of pressure. To do more, to be more, to just keep going. Our calendars are packed, our minds are just racing all the time. But what if the real secret to a full life isn't about adding more, but about remembering two ancient duties we've kind of forgotten? Let's dive into this divine art of rest.
So this verse, it might stop you in your tracks. We tend to think of a moral life as being all about sacrifice, heavy burdens. But what if a huge part of living a good life is simply to enjoy it? This isn't some tiny footnote, it's a headline. It's a call to see our own well-being, our joy, and our need for a break as a fundamental good.
And here's the thing about that duty to enjoy life. It's not a solo mission. Not at all. It actually starts, and it's kept alive, by community. So in this first part, we're going to look at why connecting with other people isn't just a nice idea, but a core moral obligation for living well.
You know that feeling, right? Like you're drowning in a sea of to-do lists, the weight of everything just on your shoulders, and you think, I've got to handle this myself. But that's just not true. The reality is, we were never ever meant to do this alone. We're actually designed for community, for sharing the load, and for having each other's backs through it all.
Okay, so let's dig into this a little deeper, this idea of interdependence. Why is it that reaching out, or admitting you need a hand, or even just wanting people around, why isn't that a sign of weakness? Why is it actually a mark of incredible strength and, frankly, just plain wisdom?
I mean, this is such a powerful example when you really think about it. The Gospel of Mark tells us Jesus chose his inner circle not just to send them out on missions, but so they could be with him. Just be with him. He actively built a community for support and companionship. It's a pretty humbling thought, right? If he knew he needed a tribe, you can bet we do too. This really lays out a choice that we're making every single day, whether we realize it or not. Are we buying into this myth of the rugged, go-it-alone hero, a path that, let's be real, often leads straight to burnout and isolation? Or do we lean into the incredible power of community, where we find support, share our burdens, and build resilience together? It's a choice that makes all the difference.
Wow, this is just such a raw, human moment. In his absolute darkest hour, Jesus didn't ask for answers. He didn't ask for a 5-step plan to fix it. He just needed his friends to be there, to sit with him in the struggle. It's such a powerful reminder that sometimes the most loving, the most helpful thing we can possibly do for someone is to just show up.
All right, so we've looked at our duty to connect. Now let's turn to its equally important partner, the duty to disconnect. Because in a world that is always on, that never seems to power down, how do we, and why must we, find the space to actually rest and recharge? Man, it is so easy to get sucked into the hustle, isn't it? We're bombarded with messages that say our worth is tied to how productive we are, that being exhausted is some kind of badge of honor. But what if that's just a story we've been sold? What if rest isn't a luxury or a sign you can't hack it, but an absolute necessity for a healthy soul?
Now that is a radical idea in our world today. It's a direct instruction. Jesus is telling his followers to literally step away from the chaos, to leave the crowds and the never-ending demands behind, and just find a quiet place. But let's be honest, that's easier said than done, right? Still, this shows us that needing a break isn't a failure, it's a strategic, essential move for our own survival. I think every single one of us can relate to this. We've all pushed ourselves too far and felt the consequences. Physically, mentally, you name it. The truth is, we are not machines, we're human beings, and we have real limits. Honoring those limits, giving ourselves permission to slow down, that isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's working with the way we were made, not against it.
So we've talked about these two vital duties, the need for connection and the necessity of rest. Now the question gets really practical. What are we going to do about it? How can we, starting today, begin building more real community and more intentional rest into our own lives? You know, it's not always easy to go against the current of a culture that's always yelling more, more, more. But the simple truth is, we were made for community, and we were made to need rest. So let's just find the courage to step back, take an honest look, and make the small changes we need to. Maybe that just means finally scheduling that coffee date, or blocking 30 minutes in your calendar and labeling it Do Not Disturb.
So, as we finish up, I want to leave you with this one challenge. Because this whole thing isn't just about managing our own stress better. It's about showing up for other people. Who in your life is struggling right now? Who could really use a listening ear,
a helping hand, or maybe just your presence. Let's take the focus off of ourselves for a moment and go be the community that someone else desperately needs.